And your dress is roses?
My dress is
Okay.
It's a
really?
coincidence.
No, it's not.
It's a
This
coincidence.
one's rigged. You look beautiful.
Girl, you too. I love this pain.
And I hate you.
I cannot stop gushing.
When Brianna went and talked to Christina, I was actually really impressed with how quickly she apologized, and it seemed genuine. What did you guys think of the apology?
Yeah, I agree because, normally in that situation, I feel like I would probably be defensive. I'd be like, well, what? What are you talking about? I don't really hate you. Like, it
Right.
was just a quick passing comment. But I feel like in that moment, I thought, wow, Christina really handled that in a mature fashion, which I think makes the teaser for next week even more surprising because we go into this third week thinking that Brianna might have just been self-sabotaging, but then other women start to have issues with Christina, and it leads us down this potential path of her maybe being the first villain of the season, which we will break down that and more as we get into the teaser for next week. So let's go ahead and start with clip 1, and then we'll get both of your reactions.
I feel the spark. I feel the chemistry.
Throw your whole body into it.
Okay, so not much here. We know we get at least one skydiving date, and then this looks like a group date here with when they're playing tackle football, which is just I feel like never a good idea in the Bachelor franchise. But what can you do?
Yeah, I'm really excited to see Allie. I think every small second that we've seen with her, I really like her, and her and Zach seem to have something. So very excited for that one-on-one date.
Yeah, same here. Allie is just like a fresh face every time I see her. I'm like, oh, she's just she looks like she should be in like a skincare commercial or something. She's just gorgeous and she
She's
glows.
beautiful.
But yeah, I think this group date, they always got to make the women just go through the trenches, like them making them be physical with each other and like tackle each other. I'm like, oh, come on. And of course, it's going to be the losers go home, the winners get the night portion. I'm like, oh, that's just, it's always tough, but entertaining to watch.
Yeah, we'll see if this tackle football game stirs up some drama. But our next clip, we see Zach in his more romantic element.
Zach's so romantic. He makes me feel like I'm on cloud.
Zach, the kissing bandit, striking again. This looks like Brooklyn. I think I saw Ariel, and there was one other. Do any of these three women that Zach is seeing kissing here stand out to you, Kayla G?
I'm trying to think. Ariel, I actually wasn't like super excited about night one, but I absolutely loved her in week 2. I think she's just a little bit more reserved, so it's hard to like get to know her, and I'm excited to continue that. But yeah, Zach's been kissing a lot of girls.
Yeah. One interesting thing I kind of caught in this little clip is that it seems like Zach is maybe going to the mansion, and I don't think that's a part of the group date. I think he might just go there and spend some extra time with some women, maybe women who weren't on the date, or I'm not sure, like something like that. Cause you guys get what I'm saying? It seems like
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
and
that
that looks
situation.
like Jess. Yeah, that looks like Jess. So, and
Yeah.
she's definitely, we talked about her last week, a bit of a dark horse for me, but their connection seems to be really strong. Although we know Jess doesn't get a one-on-one date this week because in the next little portion of the teaser, we see that Katie is getting a museum one-on-one date. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Would you like to spend the night here with me?
I like where I think this is heading.
No, the cardinal rule. I mean, we get in so much trouble with fantasy suites 6 weeks down the line. I cannot believe they're even giving this
Right.
a thought. What do you make of the fact that we're on week 3 and we potentially have a sleepover, Kayla T?
Yeah, I feel like the producers are really in their bag with this. Like, I can't believe that they're bringing this overnight type of situation. I mean, I think it's definitely a play off of Night at the Museum. I think it's like a cute thing to kind of go along with the date to stay over and whatever. But I also think they know that the potential of her walking, going home, not coming home all night, the girls are going to be like, wait a minute, what is going on? They know that's going to stir up a lot of drama with the other women. So it's kind of a win-win of like a cute date and then also like some trouble going to be coming. So who knows what is going to happen. But yeah.
Yes, I think there's gonna be lots of trouble coming from this, mostly from the other ladies. But is it just me, or does this totally remind you of Friends when Rachel and Ross spend the night at like his job at the museum? I just like
Yes.
immediately had flashbacks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm surprised they're doing this. But also, I mean, I asked for a little spice from Zach, and he's delivering. So thank you.
I mean, he was giving us spice during the bad bitch energy date. He was giving us spice during this. You have to give it
He
to him.
was.
We said we were over all of the, repeated dates that they do. They're at least trying something different with these
Yeah.
dates. I don't know how well it's working. We'll have to see how well this one works. But we do also in this teaser get a sneak peek of Katie coming back from this date, and it doesn't look like it's going to go over well.
Definitely looks like a walk of shame. For me, like I had that first one-on-one and I feel like it was more real.
So as you can see here, not only does Katie come back in the morning, but if you look super closely, she has a rose in her hand. So obviously the date goes super well, and maybe that causes some insecurity to come up for some other people in the house, specifically Christina, who we hear kind of make a snarky comment here. Do you guys think hearing this come out of Christina's mouth to Katie, does it make you rethink the situation with Brianna?
It doesn't look good for Christina on this sneak preview, but I always think I was like, maybe they edited out a word or a context. You never know. And I do want to mention Katie's pajamas are fire. I love them. They're so cute.
They are
No,
very
they're
cute.
super cute. Nice color too. Yeah, I think my only argument with that is that, yes, there's possibility they edit stuff out. I mean, that's a given, of course. But I think the fact that no, the women have an issue says that there's an issue there of some stuff that Christina has said. But I think that with Christina, I definitely see it as she is just kind of putting her foot in her mouth. I don't think she's trying to like intimidate anyone. I don't think she's trying to be a villain. I think she's kind of just a little like talking out of turn and like talking outside of her mouth, if that makes sense, like and getting herself into some trouble. I don't think she really means it, which is we might see in the next clip, maybe her like getting really upset over it.
Yeah, so that's the big question, right? Is Christina going to be the villain? We get a little bit more of what's to come with this next clip.
Christina's trying to intimidate.
Anyone who she perceives as a threat is going to be a target. She needs to be exposed. It makes me feel really insecure.
But these editors know how to do their job. So do we think that these women are really crying over Christina potentially, or do you think they're crying over other reasons? Katie had an overnight date on, week 3. Maybe they're crying because they're not getting a lot of time. What are your theories on this kind of edit of all these women crying, but Christina being the focal point?
Yeah, I think it's really going to be a mix. And I think sometimes this does happen with people who get the first one-on-one. Their relationship grows so fast, so quickly. And watching everyone else go on a date afterwards it's tough. It's almost actually Christina and Brianna actually have a somewhat similar kind of start with Zach, where maybe it was to their detriment.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I would say, Morgan, that it's like KG said, it's a mix of both. I think that Brooklyn, Brianna, who already has an issue with Christina, are upset with her, maybe about something she said during the group date or during the night portion. But I think the girls crying like Charity, Catherine saying, I feel so insecure. I think that's actually about Katie. Those are my theories about Katie's overnight. That's my theory.
Yeah, all good theories. I mean, obviously, there's 2 hours worth of drama that they have to put in an episode. So I'm sure they're not all crying over what Christina said. Although it seems like next week is the episode that we're going to get Christina's meltdown on the stairs. Here is our final teaser for next week.
Consider just literally shutting up.
Everyone is too scared to tell you. It makes it hard.
It would be a mistake to believe this.
Y'all know how I feel about pretty blondes crying on stairs. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Before we get to Christina, I want to ask you though, because we just had this moment with Brianna, with Zach, where he's like, I feel like every conversation I have with you is very
Mhm.
serious. It's not fun. Do you think Brianna, of all people, being the one to come to Zach and potentially expose all the issues that's going on with Christina, is going to be to her detriment? It can't end well, right? Kayla T, why don't you give us your thoughts here?
Girl, I was like, me, please. Because when I saw this, I was like, Brianna, he just told you, like every time we talk, it's not fun. You should not be the one going this route of bringing drama to him every single time. This is absolutely a bad move. Like, so I see this last clip as like her and Christina are in trouble. Like either of them are going home early than we would have expected because they're just getting themselves into some into some problems.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it should be Brianna, but I do also feel like the other women have said it a lot in this past episode that they're all like really friendly with each other. They're all like gassing
Mhm.
each other up. And it seems like Brianna is the only one so far I've seen that faces confrontation head on.
Mm.
The interesting thing about this is that my mind automatically goes to what Zach said to Brianna in regards to Christina crying on the steps. Zach does not like drama. He's not here for it.
Mhm.
He has very little tolerance for it. So I'm wondering how this is going to end for Christina sobbing on the steps in the third
Mhm.
episode. I mean, we have to be on day like 3 or 4 maybe of filming. Like how does this reaction come out of being there less than a week? Kayla G, do you think it's going to be a turnoff for Zach that maybe this is happening so early?
It's a lot. I think he might have sympathy for Christina. I really don't know how this is all going to go down, but like something to keep in mind. And, when we say here for the right reasons, who is these days? But it's notable that she is a content creator. She was in a Taylor Swift video. Like, oh my goodness, can we be besties? But it is really just interesting, this arc that has only happened in 3 days. And I think I read something somewhere
Mhm.
that, like, what if they're setting her up specifically to be the Bachelorette, to be like an Emily Maynard? Maynard?
Mm.
Maynard? Something like that. I'm
Mm.
not sure if I'm saying it right. But it is just kind of interesting. Like, I'm cautiously optimistic that like I want her to be there for him, but it is kind of interesting how this all is playing out, right?
No, I think that's a really good point. I think it all depends on how everything plays out in the episode because with the audience, are we going to feel like, no, Christina is kind of a villain? Then we're not really going to see her as our bachelorette. But if we're like, no, you're misunderstanding her, she didn't mean it, then maybe we could root for her and Zach might keep her and it might be this whole storyline. But I still feel like she's gonna leave earlier than we would have wanted, than some people would have expected, I guess. So that
Mhm.
still leaves me be like, I don't know about Bachelorette, but yeah, this is all pretty interesting. I think the drama is actually kind of natural in my opinion. I think
Mm.
it's all kind of happening in a way that I like, to me. So I'm good on the producers for that, for not forcing it too much. Um, so we'll have to see though.
Yeah, I want to end on a positive note because we could talk about the drama all day long. But before we wrap up, why don't we talk about each of us pick one person who surprised them in this past episode? Maybe who we enjoyed getting a little bit more screen time. For me, I really enjoyed Kylie. I thought she was really funny in her ITMs, and I thought she handled that group date really well. I mean, obviously she's an NBA dancer, so it like wasn't that far of a stretch for her to be that performative. But for somebody who got, the second to least amount of screen time in the first episode, for her to
Mhm.
be so
Mhm.
featured within the first half an hour, I really liked getting to see her. What about you, Kayla G?
I really loved Gabby. Their very first conversation was awkward, but like in like an endearing way for me, like getting a nickname. It just, I don't know. I saw him. I was like, wow, that is something I would do. But then I also liked it in the cocktail party when she brings Reese's Pieces or what? No, like a
Yeah.
Reese's cup, right? And
Yeah.
Zach, I think, fell in love
Yeah.
with her right there. I don't know. They had chemistry, and I could like feel it off the screen. And I just love a good quirky
Mm.
queen. Is she Gabby 2.0? I love it.
No, absolutely. Gabby was my pick as well for someone who really stood out to me. I think that again, I'm going to give props to the producers for finding someone that we can. For me, I felt like I was like living this experience of being on The Bachelor with Gabby because I felt like you said, KG, it was so relatable. Like, oh, that's something that I would kind of overthink that too and be like, oh, I wasted my time, and then I might cry, and then it was this whole arc of like, well, actually, he really likes her. And it's like, oh, no, wait, they have chemistry. It felt like a little mini like rom com or something happening. And I was like, wow, they really kind of found a little diamond in this episode of Gabby, and they capitalized on it, and they made a great story arc for her. And I think she's gonna go far. So I'm really actually kind
Yes,
of rooting for her to go far. I like her. I like her a lot.
me too. Zach used the word giddy, which I think that all
Yeah.
signs points to she's gonna be around for a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. All right, you guys, thanks for hanging out with us on another recap and looking forward to next week. I gotta say, we are really looking forward to next week. I used to dread Monday nights, 2 hours of my life, but I'm actually looking forward to it.
Right.
If you're still with us, let us know in the comments what you're making of this season. What do you think so far about Brianna, Christina, Gabby? We love to hear all of your thoughts, your opinions, your comments. So feel free to leave one in the comment section down below. And don't forget, if you have not done so already, subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any Bachelor updates. As always, I'm your host, Morgan Wright, joined today by Kayla G and Kayla T. If you want to say hi to us on our social media pages, our handles are on the screen right now. That's all we got. We'll see you back here next week for another Bachelor recap. Bye, everyone.